Welcome to episode 49. Mellow greetings and welcome back. I'm filming this about 4 weeks into the UK lockdown due to coronavirus. I've ordered some bits and pieces, the reg replacement you'll recall. None of it's arrived yet, so I'm going to get on and do some good old fabrication work. You may recall I talked about this stuff in a previous life. It's aluminium L shape, L section. I got it off eBay, in case you're wondering, and I'm going to use it to create a number of things. First off, I need to create a new number plate bracket for the bike because the one I've got doesn't work with my design, and I also said I would do some exhaust hangers for the stubby exhaust. So this episode is that. So it's going to be number plate support, of which I'm doing 2, by the way, a road legal and then a show plate support, and secondly the stubby exhaust hangers. So let's get on with that. Okay, first of all, we'll look at this aluminium section that we've got, which we're going to cut into sections, and we can make a number of things from this. First off, we're going to make a number plate support, and then we're going to get a couple of hangers out of it, which will fit the stubby exhausts that we touched on in a previous episode. So let's start by chopping it up. This is the current number plate setup. Well, the one that I've kind of like cobbled together. Bought this off eBay. It was dead cheap. In fact, it's terrible. But it's given me an idea. Yeah, I'll use this back plate still. Just rotate 90 degrees. But I'm going to fashion a new version of that, which is a bit more friendly to my design. Let me show you without the actual plate on, one sec. Okay, so there it is, end on. This is the other part that came with it. It's actually quite heavy, sort of pressed steel. So it doesn't actually line up with this in place. I actually had it like that, which is one hole up. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this, but make a new one of these. So here is the that piece. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to do a sort of a longer angle. So imagine something like that, and then out to about there. That's kind of the piece that I'm going to make. I suppose I better draw it on, and then you can see it. So with this just loosely on here, the angle I'm after, obviously that's that angle there, but what I'm after actually is a more acute angle, so that's the right word. So what I'm actually after is keeping it the line of the shock, but obviously I'll be proud of the shock. It's that's the angle I'm after. So let me just mark that. Let me just take this off here and I'll mark that up. So just put a line on there. Okay, so if I line that up there, as well as luck would have it, you can see that line pretty much lines up with that edge, like so. Yeah. Let me just give you a little closer look, see what you think. As is always the way, I've made a cardboard version of it. 10mm hole, so that should slip on there, and then that would be the angle. So that actually tells me to be a little bit longer. So So I want that to be, I want that to easily clear this with a bit of clearance. So yeah, so the angle's right, but it needs to be a bit longer out that way. Take two. Right, so that's the same, only a bit bigger. That's more like it. As I've changed the dimensions slightly, I shall use a different colour. There you go. This one's a little rougher, but that's the centre point. There you go. So lengthwise, I think we'll just do it the well, that's going to kind of go. Well, where's my actual number plate? There it is. So I reckon it's going to be what, that long? Can't imagine any more than that. I can always shorten it, to be fair, but okay. And I can saw that off, and then I can work on this smaller piece. Okay, I shall be using a grinder with a special aluminium cutter on it, and of course I'll be using PPE. Okay. That's much more manageable. Okay, to give us a bit of rigidity, I'm going to put like a 10mm lip on that, so I've still got a bit of angle going on, so that bit's not flopping about. Let me just chop out the rough shape then of that, and then we can work it with a hacksaw and a file. Super. So let's tie it up with a file and do the rest of this bit here. Okay, there's our rough shape. I'm going to put the hole in now so I can see what it looks like on the bike mocked up. In a second. Okay, let's go and mock it on the bike. So, I need to cut this down obviously, because that's obviously snaring on the final drive. But if I thin that down, that'll be roughly it, won't it? That's my next job. So there you go, roughly that on the bike. So good clearance here. Good clearance here. That's broadly it, isn't it? Broadly it, a bit of tidying up. And then what I can do is that plate can go roughly where it's going to go. Might also do it so it goes that way up, actually. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, so roughly that's it. Needs a bit of a polish up, or a tidy it with a bit of wet and dry. But these are, yeah, getting there. Okay, one of the things certainly in the UK to be road legal, you need to have your number plate lit. So I've got these. I've had them for yonks actually. Bought them off eBay if anyone asks. They came from China. They took weeks to arrive, and they're about £2 for two. Okay, which is good news because that one's DOA. I suppose I could repair it. Yeah. But the yeah. But anyway, I'm just going to use one. So what I've been playing with, and I've spared you a fair bit of time. What I've been playing with is just bolting that through the number plate like so, earthing it to my frame, and then just running a lead which will go to the ignition, because this has got a light's got to come on with the ignition. So that's the plan. Let me just show you the theory. Okay, one sec. Right then. So negative terminal earth. Come on. So can't even see that, can you? Negative terminal on the earth. See that? So that works. So what that means is, I'll have to shorten these wires now. I can ground this on the back plate, run that to ignition, and we should be good to go. Right, bit of soldering to do. Okay, so what I've done, obviously I've got my light sticking at the top of the number plate there, coming through. I'll cable tie this down. I've made a couple of holes to get some cable ties, earthed on the bolts, and then I've got my positive which I'll take the ignition. Let me throw it on the bike just so we can see it working. So there we have the this on the bike. So obviously the earth is going through the strut. So if I touch this on the positive terminal, my light should light up, which it does. That works. Touching it. So now I'm going to route this. Somehow hide it, probably another swing arm, and then join up with this speedo cable which comes out here, and there's a little cable route that goes behind this bar, and I can hide that and then straight into my ignition. So I'll do that. Okay, forgive the mess on the bench. I've been playing with wires. Right, there's my pretty much finished piece now. I've done a couple of holes in it which I'm going to use for cable management. Right, just going to clean it up, a bit wet and dry, get it nice and clean, and then give it a bit of a coat of paint, and then we can put it on the bike. Let's crack on with that. Okay, I was going to use this this methodology, which was the earthing it to the plate, and then with a single connector, but I've only got doubles. So what I'll actually do, make it easy, I'll just put that on a double connector. Yeah, makes it easier around, doesn't it, really? Much easier. So I've got two of these. So I can have one on this plate and one on my small plate. And it's just an earth and a AUX 1 connection. So let me just get this one set up first. Okay, I spared you the soldering. What I've done, I've put a two-way connector, or 2 times connector on that. So that will be my Mark 1 road legal number plate. And now to make the Mark 2 show plate. Right, here's the road legal version, which is the full-size plate and the original exhausts. Just need to tie that back, secure that there, but that's pretty much it. So that's the road legal version. It's a big old plate, that I've got to say. Big old plate. Yeah. However, it does comply, which is a good thing. Right, so number plate, the small one. That's the show plate, as it's called. That's my bracket, so it's kind of going to go like that on the bracket. Now then, question here is, where do I want to mount the light? It needs to be the top here. Here's what I've come up with. I've got an offcut of aluminium. I'm thinking of something like that, with a hole in there, light through there, maybe bent over a little bit, don't know. This cut off and mounted like so. And I'm thinking that's my bracket, pretty much. 2 holes there, maybe 1 hole there. I'll mark it up, cut it out and have a play and see what we think. This is a bit of scrap anyway, so if you recognise it off something else. I think it's that piece actually, truth be known, off there. Let's give it a go. Okay, so I've got this roughly as I want it. Put a hole through there. So it's going to chop that off, then losing this rough bit here. So let me just cut that out, and then we'll give it a bend. Okay, so I've spared you all the filing and sanding and stuff. I've done a bit of measuring, as you can see. Anyway, let me show you how this is going to go together. I'll start off by throwing my light through the hole. I won't put it on properly, you get the drift. That mounts on here. I've cut that down a little bit, as you can see, so I'll have to respray this. I've also re-drilled it to take the smaller holes I'm using with this plate. So that goes on like that. It might look a bit Heath Robinson as it stands, but if I pop the plate on, like so, looks like that, which actually, guys, is pretty good. I'll pop an extra bolt through the number 8 and pick up this corner here, just secure it. So there you go. So all we have to do now is bend this slightly forward, just again for aesthetic reasons, and then paint it, and I'll repaint that at the same time. And also my hangers. There you go, it's only a slight bend. It gives it a bit of authenticity. Right, the next thing we're going to make is the hanger. You remember this from last time. I'm just going to trace that out. I'll make it a bit bigger, just so I've got some margin of error. I'll do a left and a right. So I'll just draw those on and cut them out. There you go. Right, I've made some slight refinements to the design, but you've broadly got it. I've also put, as you can see, I've put a small bend in that. That's just to give me some alignment on the bike, make it all line up a bit better. So yeah, I made that a bit smaller, as you can see. But broadly, that's the same thing. Yeah, you can see. You can see I started off with the same thing, almost, but I've Yeah, cool. So 2 of those, and then spray them up, put them on the bike. Well, I'm going to spray them up and put them on the bike with the these things. So that's going to just go on. There you go. So that's going to live like that on the bike, which I think is quite groovy. Yeah, I will do a little bit of a scene later when I show you these on the bike, but at the moment it's got the larger ones on. Righty, here's the plate painted up. I've also popped my light through, and I've done my my cable termination. So let me just put this, or show you how this goes on the old assembly. I've also taken liberty to just paint the tops of those black, just so they look a lot better. So this then kind of goes like so. Yeah, I think that's pretty groovy, although you can't really see it there, can you? Although to go on the bike, of course, it needs these smaller exhausts on as well, because this is the show version. So it's worth pointing out that I painted up my hangers as well. So what I'll actually do now is I'll put these show plates and the small exhaust on the bike, and we can see the show version. So how does that look then as the back end? I think that looks pretty slick. That's the show version, the small plates and the light. Lovely jubbly. And then let's just quickly look at the other hanger on this side. Again, I think that looks super. Great stuff. Quick review of this wiring route. So I've got my connector, which is here. Then I've got this secured with by cable tie on the swing arm. Runs along the top of the swing arm under here. So this, you can see the cable comes around here. That's to kind of avoid any rubbing on the swing arm really, and then joins this bit of loom that's behind this piece here. Is in this here, comes out. There's an earth which goes to this earth strap here, and then the red wire comes all the way to ignition. So that means when I put the bike on, it will all light up. So I do love that. There you go, and there's my light on. So that is, well, that is road legal. Super. Super duper. Well, I'm really liking how that's now how that's panning out. Actually, I think the back end looks absolutely really slick, especially with the show plate and the stubby exhaust. I think that's a really nice clean looking thing. Right, that's enough for this week. Thank you very much as always for keeping up with this and for giving it your time. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Like it if you like it, and any questions or comments, drop them below, and I'll be happy to answer them. Now I've got a bit more time in my hands, what with this whole lockdown thing. Let's hope that ends soon. Thanks for watching.